Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Coach's Box. This is episode 182. I don't even think that some of us can count that high, but that's how many shows we've had. And this show is the Ides of March Madness guide, our Ides of March Madness guide, because we're going to give you the guide to March Madness, which has already started. Gosh, it's almost over. March, I mean. And, it's been a long few weeks, guys. How you all doing?
Tired. How you doing?
Your season just started, Zach.
Oh no, this is week 4.
You can tell he's coaching right now, dude. It's so great. I'm glad you're the tired one. You always made fun of me and Miller.
Yep.
Didn't be the facts, though. Yeah.
It's exhausting. We're already 4 games into our season.
Well, it's just soccer. They just run back and forth and kick the ball, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yes.
It's easy. It's easy. It's like playing first base. It's easy. Tell them, watch.
It's incredibly difficult.
It's incredibly difficult. First base is the moon to him.
Jarvis is in deep thought right now.
Hey. Sorry, I was
sharing the show. We know how this goes.
Well,
reading journalism.
I was actually reading Leader journalism, since I was told that me and you were in the Leader, and neither one of us were contacted about that blurb. But
that's okay.
It was positive, man. It was good stuff.
It was free press, and it was good.
Yeah, prep. I mean, anytime the Coach's Box can make the paper, bro.
That's true. I mean, in all the years we've done this,
that's
one, and then you had some more 0. Oh, no, it's just 1 + 0. It's one time, and we'll take it. But what was really good is it was told that they wouldn't trade sitting courtside at Mizzou Arena, for us being able to play against each other in the rivalry that our teams have had. So it was nice.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to even Eric Lawrence, and there's the rivalry since I've been, my 9 years at Herculaneum. It's been fun. That was above our pay grade. So, I don't have a lot of control over the things that go on, but
sure.
It is what it is. I can sympathize with you guys, but
sure.
Hey,
you know what? Here's the best thing about it. All this goes down. I mean, obviously nobody here who watches our show, and I was in Columbia when I got the news about our school not being a part of the conference anymore. And to be honest with you, I've had mixed feelings about it. And I have no problem saying this. I hate that number one, it affects the kids, because the kids in the rivalry is the biggest thing. The kids for us, all conference accolades, that's something that we'll miss out on, especially if we go independent. But at the same time, I mean, that's the kids had a lot of fun in those games, and I think those games were important to them, as important to your kids and mine and some of the other kids as well. So that's part of it when conferences break apart and schools go their own ways and do different things, and that's part of it. But for us, I mean, Hell, Jarvis, me and you, I mean, we hung out at Columbia. So, it was so much bad blood between us that we went and hung out at Columbia. So,
Did you get
I-
Shakespeare's though? That's
no,
all
we
I
did
want to
not.
know.
No, we did
Not.
not. And I'm not going to lie. I sat there and ate on the coaches association's dime most of the weekend. But
Hospitality, baby.
yeah, I'll tell you what. If you are part of the coaches association and you are a boys or girls basketball coach, and you haven't gone to the Final Four and experienced it, you need to go, man. It's great. The coaches association does a great job taking care of the coaches. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to go with Chris, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting more involved with that. And I think it's cool to talk to other coaches from around the state and just to learn some things from them, talk about different things, offense, defense, and talk a little crap. It was a fun time. I had a blast.
I tell you, years back, you go back to Otto Porter Jr. and that run that Scott County had, and had Coach Cookson and all of that. It was something to see as a young coach, super young, and you're like, hey, let's go into the room, get some soda, get some popcorn, and it's like he's just holding court, man, and everybody's just around him, because we'd always go to the class 1, 2, and 3 weekend and seeing get a chance to listen to his story. So
I'm not gonna lie, Zach. I wish I would have went both weekends.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have went to because I know from talking to people that were there, I got to sit and talk to Earl Austin, the reporter. I sat and talked to him, and the coaches. It was just me, him, and the guy that got us the food. I forget his name, Chris, but the one of the coaches got association guys.
You'll say it, and then it'll come to me later. So I
sat there and talked to him for almost an hour, and we talked about old times, talked about Festus' championship my freshman year. It's just good. I never went to the Final Four except when Festus won it back then, and this is the first time as a coach that I've experienced it, and it was just a good time, man. And we got hooked up with some coaches box press passes, and the sight from there. I watched that Vashon game. You would have had to peel me off the seat. I was just like, dude, it was just feel. I mean, just exciting. And here's the deal. Separate the championships. We can't compete with that. You can't compete. Private schools, no offense, they ruled. And
in
not
class 4,
1,
5, and
2,
6.
or 3, no.
No.
Big ones.
Class 4 was all its own because Vashon and their 4 all-staters dominated, and it wasn't, hey.
Class 4 is not a good one to be in.
John Burroughs had a good team, it was like, hey, thanks for coming up. And they're even coached by a former Vashon player. And I'll tell you what, and he done a hell of a job. That's why he was coach of the year in class 4. But holy smokes,
they didn't have a chance.
No,
you're bringing Jimmy McKinney III off the bench in the first game, and he scores like 12 points and has like 8 assists or whatever he had.
He's a freshman,
and he's a freshman. And there's his dad sitting on the bench. Helping coach. I mean, dude.
Well, hey, Jarvis, I think you just found the solution to any of the problems. You just got to hire the right dads to sit on the bench.
Jimmy Jr. might actually be doing that for free just to be a part. It's kind of wild. I've watched a lot of basketball up there at the Final Four, and there's been a couple times where some of the St. Louis public high schools make it, like Soldan or somebody, and no school in the public high league represents like Vashon does. Sure. I mean, their fan base is off the chain.
Dude,
literally.
They were hilarious to watch during the game.
They don't even need cheerleaders. They have their own families and pep clubs. They do cheers and chants before halftime. They do cheers and these are the adults. This isn't the kids. It's the adults.
The super fan, he looks like Favorite Flav, and he's got instead of a clock, instead of a clock, he's got a huge V right here. He's got a yes. He's got a leather
right.
cowboy hat.
Yeah,
Right.
cowboy
And
hat.
it's all found out. I mean, it was awesome. It was a cool atmosphere.
And Chris, you wanted to do the show tomorrow.
Uh,
That was worth it right there.
Sorry, I moved the V down too low. There we go.
Yeah.
There
So
we go.
no, that's a movie quote, Jason. And
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm not a movie quote guy.
we know this is par for the course. I'll tell you what though, the Final Four, and if we ever want to dive into that one too, just the experience to go up there, and I'm glad Jason got to do it, because that's something that I frequent just because, and I'm glad he said about the MBCA, they try to do what's best and help the coaches, and it used to be they had the stall cup room over on the side, like you were talking about, Zach, where you go in there and you get the popcorn, you get the soda. So that actually has been turned into something else. I think it's like some kind of computer something or other. I don't know. They might even have a class in there. And so what they did was they got one of the suites between, before you get down into the bowl. And that's actually where the hospitality room was. And allowing access down there for the coaches, so you can come in there and sit. I mean, there's a lot of times where, it was like Grand Central Station. There's all kinds of guys coming in. Brad Hayes, by the way, Jason, that's who that was.
Yes,
Brad Hayes, and
very great.
And
great
he actually puts together the Norm Stewart Classic.
Yeah.
And just very well connected guy, very nice guy. And plenty of good guys.
It's kind of like tonight. Where's Jim Powers? That's what we kept getting in the suite. And just like tonight, where's Jim Powers?
That was the question that everybody asked. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Where's
Jim Powers supposed to be with you? It's like, well, Jim didn't make it. And but and Jim's been up there. He called games in the class 1, 2, and 3, the first Show Me Showdown. But a lot of really great basketball up there, and a long weekend, half a week. Whenever go ahead, Jay.
I'm glad I stayed, and I know you got going because you had a bunch of farm work to do, I'm sure. Yeah, but I stayed for the Chaminade and Cardinal Ritter game, and you want to talk about a game that was played up high above the rim. That game, it was dude. It was fun to watch. I couldn't imagine having that many athletes in one lineup. I called it big boy basketball in my Facebook post, and that's like going to a college game watching those two play and watching Vashon play. I mean, the speed was just
you can't simulate that at all. It's unreal. It is, and they just got it. It's like an artesian well of talent that just keeps coming through there, and Tony does a great job with coaching those kids, management. Hey, it's not like they're just run up and down and just doing it. No. He controls the game from the sideline. You can say what you want about Tony Irons is a hell of a coach, and not only you have the talent out there, but then you keep it. They're disciplined. They don't have any other choice. If they don't,
they are.
I would not want to be on the other side of that.
He calls like he puts his hand up and they just stop, keep their dribble. He'll look. He'll figure out what they're running. He calls it. Boom! They run it to perfection. It was just fun to see. I've heard, they just they do some things, and those kids have some fundamentals. Just watching their warm ups, it's like gave me some ideas of some things just that I could add, just a couple tweaks that they did that I could add to my game and to my coaching.
Because you guys are class 4. You're the same classification. You are literally equals.
You should have the same kind of athletes according to Zach's methodology of this.
Yeah, we have.
What are you bringing up me for?
Same size schools.
Same size schools.
Same size
schools.
Equity.
I wonder if you looked up the population.
I've never said that.
We're under 500.
Oh, they're probably under 500.
I'm the one that's preaching quality over quantity.
Are you though?
Yeah, go back and watch on the episode.
Yeah,
You
that
could
would require me to
for
actually do
free.
something. Yeah,
That would be
you
you
do
could
it
do
for
that
free.
for free.
As it was mentioned in the leader, it's easy to find. It's an
Yeah.
easy to find
Yeah,
thing.
that's what he said. Easy to find
Easy to
podcasts
find
on the internet.
on the internet. Love it because it is. You don't have to search for it or put a quarter in the machine to make it happen or put
All
your
right,
credit card in.
You don't have
But
to download an app either.
No, not at all, and
Nope,
it's not
nope.
really confusing or a
paywall?
long app. No, nothing like that.
All right,
But hang on, before
Go ahead.
sorry, Zach, I
No,
gotta
you're fine.
say this, and this is in all seriousness. As many people know, have heard, and people probably watch our show, the Class 6, girls state championship, it kind of had a little cloud over it as Incarnate Word won their state championship. I don't even know how many in a row in their 131st game, but they did it without Dan Rolfus, who after the semifinal game, unfortunately had a heart attack, and he was touch and go quite a bit that night. That's actually where Jim Powers is. I mean, we can give Jim a hard time,
Yeah,
but
that's
Jim's
why he's
heart's
not
in the
here
right
today.
place. He's he was really shaken after that news, and for a while there, we heard a lot of different things about Coach Rolfus, and just not sure. And the good thing that the people who took care of him did such a great job, because Mizzou Arena is right there by the hospital, and they had to do CPR for quite a long time on him, and that's one of the reasons why he was in such tough shape too, because of the after effects of it. But our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. As I believe things are starting to trend up. He's still up there. He's still being taken care of, obviously, and just kudos to those girls and that coaching staff to be able to put that all aside and play.
Yeah, it's amazing that they played the way they did. And dude, they got a couple girls on that team that are just dynamite, man.
They put on a clinic
Yeah.
on how to play.
It's just like what you said with Deshaun, the way that Rolfus just preaches the fundamentals of doing things from a young age, and when he has kids come through his camps and things, and it breeds that success.
So wait, you're trying to say it's not just show up and just play games? It's like actual fundamentals that means something?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure.
When every one of those kids, I mean, they brought several kids off the bench who just they could turn around and go start for any of these teams. They could probably be all state. They could probably get all the accolades that they wanted, and they're so well balanced, they're so well disciplined, and they just play hard. I mean, and the thing about every team up here, every team that made it up there, they play hard, and that's why they got there. I mean, for any kid who watches this and just thinks like you're going to show up and I'm going to go out there and turn on, there aren't guys out there who are winning state championships, getting all state accolades and getting those opportunities to play at the next level just because they feel like they can just turn it on, turn it off whenever the hell they want to.
One of the great things that I saw was how they attacked the basketball in all phases of the game.
Yes.
Whether it's rebounding, a loose ball, there would be sometimes 5 guys on the floor. I mean, we're talking, I wish I could have had my whole team sitting there and watching just the intensity in which these kids played. I just don't think kids around here in Jefferson County understand that. I mean, they're playing, you would think they were playing for their life. And it's awesome to watch. I mean, like one dude went up like 3 rows trying to save a ball. They knocked all the press tables, got knocked over in one of the games. I mean, it just how hard they played. It was just amazing to watch.
Well, and Jarvis, to piggyback off of that, I mean, you're not wrong when you say, playing for their life. I mean, if they have a dream to go play collegiate basketball, then they are, because that's their dream. And I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the show, but I know we have off air when we talked about, the Cardinals and the different players that you want to draft or the different players that you want to pick up. And we kind of compare whether it's the American players or whether we talk about the Latin players. And we've said, hey, if you threw a bag of Skittles out or a bag of M&Ms out on the floor, who's going to go get it? it's somebody that's hungry. It's somebody that needs it, somebody that's desperate for it. And it's not going to be the kid that's entitled that says, oh, it's okay. I can go pick it up at the gas station, or maybe mom and dad has some M&Ms for me at home. Like that's what you saw obviously at the Final Four. And it's just that hunger, that desire. And that's awesome to hear.
Well, and there were some other teams there that weren't inner city or weren't, I thought Kickapoo's girls really played a really good game. Even though they lost, I thought both their games, there was just, man, you got to be well coached. You're a well coached and well fundamental team to be at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it.
And even the teams that you don't see coming, because doing the polls and things like that, a lot of teams that were ranked high or that you saw maybe they would have a shot at the Final Four, either they get upset or they get beat by another good team. And you have these teams come out of nowhere. I mean, I look at our girls being kind of one of those teams that nobody, especially in Class 3, there's so many good schools in Class 3, and our girls make the Final Four. And there's always those schools that make it up there and make a run. Summit Christian Academy would be one of them. Mm-hmm. Got second place in Class 3. Nobody really saw them coming. Logan Rogersville, they had a good team. Very fundamental, very solid, but
that freshman,
and they got a freshman who's
my
their best
gosh,
player.
He's the best player on their team, no doubt in my mind. I talked about him the whole time they were playing. I was like, man. And then someone said, well, he's a freshman. I think Chris told me. I went, what? She's like, yeah, he's a freshman. Dude, he didn't come out of the game. Like, he was the engine of that team. I was like, and dude, the way he attacked the basketball and the things that he did as a freshman, phenomenal. He was fun to watch.
You didn't see him. Jeff City had, they got a kid who's, they took second to DeSmet, but they got a kid who's a junior who's probably 6'4". He's not built because he hasn't built his body up enough yet. But basketball, and he's their best player. He's a 20-point, 10 rebound a game kid. And basketball is his second sport. He's a baseball player. He plays shortstop and can throw in the high 80s. And he's just the comparison that I heard was, they said A-Rod. Just how he plays. He gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and takes batting practice every day.
Hey, simple
every
solution.
Single stinking day.
It's called hard work, period.
Yeah.
You
can't microwave success, kids. That's just the way it goes.
Well, a lot of people are critical of people like Kobe Bryant and some of those people. But if you looked at Kobe's work ethic and what he did, and he figured out, hey, if I get up at 4 and get a workout in and then eat some breakfast, rest, then go another 2 hours later on. So I'm so far ahead of everyone else. And that's what he lived. That's how he lived. That's what he did. There's not too many kids getting up at 5 in the morning and hitting every day. Not many kids.
No, that's the thing. It's it's what you want to do and how good you want to be. And he knows that was the way to widen the gap, widen this gap between him and the next guy. And, talk about, I don't know how many players I saw up there that they're at the biggest stage, and they're multi-sport athletes. They are not specializing. The only way they're specializing is if they don't have the sport. These kids are playing multiple sports, and that's what they're doing, and they're playing at a high level. So anybody who says that, well, no, there's kids that have offers, and all these D1 schools, and they all play multiple sports. So if you want to go listen to a guy that you're paying money to tell you how good you are at baseball or basketball or football, and they're telling you, well, you got to just specialize in this. The reason they want that is because they want you to stay with them and you to continue to pay them money for more sessions during a time where you should be playing another sport. and enjoying the best part of your high school life and your life period, and doing those things with your friends. But go ahead, pay them. That's what you need to do. Stupid.
Well, our girls basketball team, I was a head soccer coach for 2 weeks, and we were short nine soccer players because out of the 12 girls they took to the Final Four, I think 8 ended up being soccer players, and 2 were track athletes. So, we've played 2 games this week, and we've only had 2 practices as a team because of all kinds of things, because we just didn't have everybody together. And part of that success comes from those kids being around all kinds of sports and just being athletes.
Well, I think it was a good, just in seeing all that stuff and putting all this together and just being able to see all those great teams that made it. I mean, what a fantastic finish to the basketball season in high school here in Missouri. I love going. I'm so happy it's back in Columbia. I hate driving to Springfield. There's just no good way to go from Jefferson County to Springfield, because you have to cut across either, from Hillsboro over to
St. Clair.
you end up having to go to St. Clair. You might have to drive out through Ware, Missouri to do it. I mean, it's
Where?
Yeah, Ware.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah.
A home of Grandview.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But it's I'm just glad it's there. It's in the center of the state. It's at the biggest Division I school in the state, and that's where it should be.
The flagship.
Dude, and I thought they did a great job of, they announced every player, talked about every player before the game, announced each one by name, then announced the starters. I liked how they did one starter from one team, then the next team, and then they and it was just, I mean, well worth it for those kids making it that far. They should do that.
Well, I don't necessarily like that part, but it's okay.
I do. I think it's good to recognize all the kids.
No. I mean the alternating part. I don't like that.
Oh, I kind of like that. I know. I didn't like that we had to. I didn't like that we had to stand for the anthem 5 and 6 times.
Oh my gosh! Like, it made me feel like I hate America, because I'm like, gosh, it's a whole. It's national anthem.
Seriously, Zach, they played it before every
single game that starts at 10 a.m. and the last one's at 8.
Can we just play it the first time? And I will say it stayed on schedule pretty well too. A lot better than I thought it would.
In talking in our MBCA MSHSAA meeting before the All-State Committee meeting, when we had Dr. Ruckstead and Doug Fessler in there, and they talked about some different things. But one of the things they said was they didn't want to do, say, an hour and a half time slots or an hour and 45 minutes for the kids. And I know that's a long wait for some of the games, especially there were a couple games that there was a little turbo clock, Class 4 state championship being one of them. But it said, because you don't, and it's very smart, because you don't want, as the kids are taking pictures and the teams taking pictures and everybody's got their trophies and medals, you don't want to be rushed off the court. I mean, that's your opportunity to have that image in time that's it. And I think that was a very, very, very good idea for them to do, and to make 2-hour slots and still find a way. And then we didn't have any overtime games, so we did get to see one half court shot finally go in. One in the girls' game. I can't remember who hit it. Was it?
Was it the Kickapoo's first game?
It was in Kickapoo's semifinal game. And a girl shot one from half court and just bam. It was awesome, because everybody hands up, and then she finally hits it, and I'm like, thank God somebody finally did. I mean, the other ones, they're short. It's college court. It's hard to hit a half court shot.
I mean, overall, A+ weekend, man.
Absolutely.
Both weekends.
Blast. Yeah. I would have liked to have went and seen the Pius girls play, and going back to you guys leaving the conference, I am kind of upset for Jill, because she doesn't get to play against PJ and all of them, who she grew up playing with her whole life. When it comes to soccer, they played, my gosh, forever together, all those girls. And it's a shame they won't get to play each other their senior year, but it is what it is.
It's out of our control.
Yep.
I can't, I can't do anything about it. And it does suck from that standpoint because I won the last game between us where you had to give me wings that I'm still freaking waiting on. I mean, we even went and ate at Hooters, and still
I didn't even think about it. I had the money and everything.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to be that guy. Like, pay for my
Chris.
I would have said it if I were you.
Technically, he has until the next time you play to pay up.
Hey, this guy, talking about
Kevin,
settling bets. Of all
Kevin,
people.
you are awesome. That's a good one.
Where's Eddie at? Where's getting Reno
bourbon shooters? What? That's the same thing.
He got 5 bottles of bourbon. I don't know what his problem was.
Gracious. You didn't specify what size bottle. Read the fine print.
This guy.
Oh my gosh, you got him the freaking airplane bottle.
Got him shooters, yeah, little bitty ones.
5 of them.
This guy.
I didn't even add up to half a pint, probably.
It's Eddie. He's small. He can't drink that much.
Hey, when are we going to get that dude on the show?
I don't know. He might not want to now after all this hate.
This is nothing compared to what he gets during the school day.
That is a fact. That's a
fact. I was going to say, it's probably nothing compared to what he gets at lunch, is it?
Probably, that he definitely does his fair share of dishing that out. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. We're going to get into the college level of March.
Ides of March?
That's right. Ides of March Madness coming right up. This is Coach's Box. See you in a second.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Someone!
That's broken too, pal.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Case and Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
All right, everybody, welcome, everybody but Jason. Welcome back to the Coach's Box, episode 182, our Ides of March Madness guide. If you like our, there he is. Welcome back to the show, Jason. If you like our show, you can do what the leaders.
Shortest commercial ever.
It's been the same length for the last few weeks. If God, I walked right into that. I'm done. If you like our show or don't like our show, or just whatever, if you want to see stupid crap like what I just said, you can do exactly what the leader says. It's easy to find on the internet, and it costs you absolutely no money to watch.
That
And
made
we
my
don't put a
night.
paywall. I know, you're welcome.
That made my
And
night.
you can watch this on Facebook. Follow our Facebook page, or you can subscribe for absolutely how much, guys?
Not
Free.
Hey, we're on like Spotify too, right? And some other stuff.
Yes. I need to load up our last few episodes on there because I've been a little busy being an extortionist. But anyway,
we was talked a lot about it at the thing too.
Well, you can I'll jump into that here in a sec. But you can watch our show, listen to it for free anytime you want on YouTube, or as Jason alluded to, Spotify, Apple Music. It's all there.
And it's all what? How much?
It's free. It's not a damn dime that you have to pay.
Free. You get this free entertainment.
Free. Cheap
Would
entertainment.
you pay for this? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, somebody.
No.
I don't know. I look pretty good on camera, but
I don't know if you're more colorful than Vashon super fan, but
hey, I'm representing the Grace Life and a guy that races, Robert Inman.
That looked like a racing jacket.
That's what it is. It's a racing hoodie, and
I couldn't tell if it was that or fishing.
Rob Inman, he graduated from Festus. He races cars down there at the one that you can see as you're going down to Farmington, I think, right there on the right, that
St. Francis
Speedway or whatever it is. Yeah, I think he races down there, and I think he might race at I-55 too. But he's a good guy. He goes to Grace Life Chapel, and I wanted to support him, so I bought a hoodie.
Attaboy.
I thought it was pretty colorful. I'm like, man, I'm wearing that tonight.
You are a little flamboyant. That's good, Jason.
A little bit, I like it once in a while.
Yeah, I'm representing the show because that's what I do.
I've gained so much weight that show shirt is a little tight, so I've lost 12 pounds now. Hey, I still lost weight even after this weekend. This weekend was bad.
Yeah, because we ate really bad food and popcorn. Popcorn was really, really good.
I didn't eat any popcorn. I don't think the whole time.
Expensive popcorn, but it was free for us. Anyway, let's jump right into what
all those annual dues paid for all that free popcorn.
That's because it was your extortion fee.
I know
it was free for you.
We will get to all of that later in the next segment. But anyway, there's this big tournament coming up, and it's not it's not the Bruce Thomas tournament. It is the NCAA tournament. The what?
The Copa America.
The Copa.
Gosh.
Copa America.
Isn't that a song at the Copa?
Copacabana, right?
It's Copacabana.
That's it. I don't know. What are you talking about? Speak my language.
Here
in America. It's only the second largest soccer tournament in the world.
That's not even a real thing. It's imaginary.
So,
so the largest and most important tournament in the world, especially right now, is the NCAA tournament. Fellas, what's your thoughts on the tournament field so far?
I have one thought that I thought was very interesting. I don't know if you saw this story. Long Beach State and their coach had been there for 17 years, was told that he would no longer be there, and then his team goes and wins the conference tournament, and now they're playing against number 2 Arizona, and after the tournament's over, he's not going to be employed by them anymore. So I find that a very interesting story and a very probably pleasing story for him.
Yeah. Well, I've got Arizona going to the Final Four, so hey.
Nice story, guys.
Yeah.
No, Long Beach State. I'm rooting for them now, especially if you got them going to the Final Four.
Well, now wait a minute. Here's the crazy part. Okay, what's the administration think when you're at Long Beach State? Like, hey, listen, man, you're just not winning enough, bro. I'm at Long Beach State. I'm not getting the dudes that are going to Cal or USC or Arizona, which is like right over there. I'm got guys who are going to Long Beach State. What do you expect me to do? I don't get it.
It's like, well, we expect you to go win the conference tournament. Fine, I'll go win the conference.
All
tournament.
right, since you put it out that way. Oh wait, I'm already out. Fine, we're gonna go win anyway, just to spite you.
I just like, like you said, I just like how the players rallied around the coach.
That's awesome.
That's
it was awesome.
That was a great part of that story.
It's great administration making great decisions right there.
And I wonder how many of them, now that coach, after this tournament, how many will enter the portal and leave?
Well, I would. Maybe go play for him somewhere else.
Yeah.
If he's been there 17 years and you just now decide to pull the trigger. Something don't add up. He must have pissed off one of the donors to the school or something at a formal dinner.
Everything. Wu-Tang Clan was right. Cash rules everything around me. I mean, that's all it is. Everything's about money.
There's a lot of things that Wu-Tang Clan could have been right about, Zach.
Yep.
And Kevin, in our little private, nobody else can see. Yes,
yep.
you probably did
you
that.
are probably right. Been there.
You're correct.
Seems to be the theme here recently. I'll go ahead and just jump in. Are we going to say our final 4 picks? Do we want to say that, or we want to talk about the field? Zach, you didn't give us a lot of show planning here. I know. I'm sorry. You're coaching now. You're coaching now.
Thank you. Busy.
Running the fungo. I get it. It's
busy.
Cool.
Busy.
I got a thing.
Busy.
Okay, what? Kick the ball.
I'm coaching too.
Kick the ball. Zach does the planning for the show.
I was a head coach for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you guys were like going to watch the girls play anyway, so didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, wait. Hey, we're all going to convene here and count it as a practice. Go run over there real quick.
Go kick the ball out. Go kick the ball out in the parking lot.
There you go.
Good.
That's
no, we met at 7 a.m. that morning. And
so what's? I mean, since we don't have any direction, I'm going to throw some direction out there. The first, let's talk about the 4 number 1 seeds in UConn, North Carolina, Houston, and Purdue. Which is the first one that's going to be knocked off? I
North
say
Carolina.
Purdue. I say Purdue.
You would say that because you like Duke. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I just think that they've. I don't know. I just think that they'll be the first one. Watching them.
Stats say Purdue, though. The analytics say
the history
Purdue.
Says Purdue.
Yeah,
I say Purdue. I don't think the Big Ten is really preparing anybody for this type of run.
Right.
Well,
now I say that.
I think
Illinois has got a good shot too. So,
of losing?
No, of making it. I say that, but then I think I have got Illinois as one of my final 4 teams.
I like Illinois. I know we jumped to a 3 seed, but I like Illinois.
Yeah. Problem is Illinois is going to run up against UConn, and UConn, I'm telling you, they're going to the Final Four. They might win the damn thing again.
Yeah, they may win. They may repeat.
They could. Yeah. They could because they're that good. They're that good all the way around.
A lot of people are picking that to happen.
In my first bracket, that's the one I picked. And I hate UConn men's basketball.
You don't like Hurley? I like Hurley.
No. I like Hurley. I don't like it. Again, it goes back to the Jim Calhoun days. I don't like him.
Yeah.
At all. It's terrible.
You and that Duke hat.
Now, listen, I really didn't like it because I like that Duke team that they beat when it had Elton Brand and Corey Maggette, and I like that team. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, stupid Richard Hamilton. Stupid face. Khaled El-Amin. Jake Voskuhl. Bunch of freaking losers. They won. But anyway, no, I think UConn, man, I'll tell you what, though, if Purdue if Purdue could overcome their demons of the past, I think they can do some. Houston, they're that mid-major. I don't care they're still the mid-major. They are. That's the thing. They can't shake that. They're okay. Tell me they're not a mid-major.
They're really a number 1 seed in the tournament.
That's okay. There's been teams that they're okay.
They're in the Big 12.
Finally.
Yeah, it's not like you're out of the Pac-2.
You can't even say it's the city because Houston is one of the most populated cities now.
I know it's the
and they're in a.
How long have they been in the Big 12?
They're in a Power 4.
I know they are.
That's one of the best conferences in basketball.
I know it is. I'm not saying they are a mid-major. I'm saying they're like still the mid-major because they just don't get over that. If they'd win the damn thing, they'd be over the hump. It's just
So they
like
have to win
Butler ends up in the Big East after all that. After they make the championship game 2 years in a row. What was Houston in the Southwest Conference back in the day with like them and
the original SWIC.
You talk about way back.
The old Southwest Conference
with Rice,
and SMU and Rice. Okay,
man, so that is old time.
Yes, but when the Big 12 came, or the Big 8 came about, they weren't part of that. So they lost that. They stayed in that little bitty hole of a whatever in Conference USA. It wasn't too long ago. They were a Conference USA school, guys, and they still have that. Yeah, we're just but I'm telling you, they have the talent. Houston has the talent. I watched them play. I like the way they play. But man,
you just go back to the stats, and I don't know if you want to talk about the women's side, but when we're talking about
a little bit
comparing the two tournaments, it's like if you're going to put money on somebody in the women's bracket, you might as well put your money on the 1 seed, and then on the men's bracket, you may not want to put your money on the 1 seed because historically the ones have not been winning, and so I mean. Again, as we kind of move along through here, I think there's some 2 and 3 seeds that have a shot. But again, to go back to your point, Jarvis, or your question, you're saying Purdue. Again, how many ones make it to the Final Four?
That was going to be my question. If you guys were to predict your Final Four predictions, just obviously, how many 1 seeds are in your Final Four?
1 or 2.
My first one, I think I have 2, maybe 3.
I haven't even filled out a bracket.
I just looked at it until the other day.
I have no 1 seeds
before the show.
Really? No 1 seeds at all.
No 1 seeds at all.
Who do you have then?
I have Illinois, Duke, Arizona, and Tennessee.
I'm a Duke fan. It ain't happening. I would love for it to.
You got
ain't
2
happening.
number 2s, a 3, and a 4.
Yes.
Interesting.
Hey, I think Iowa State. Iowa State
could be a dark horse.
I think Arizona. Now,
Tennessee,
if we're gonna say,
I like Marquette, but
okay, no, they just got whooped by UConn. Just they can. It's just you get into that late game, that 2 minutes and under. I just don't know if they have it because they had that chance. And I say this at least to break the spread of the 9 points, and they wind up losing by 13-14. It's like they don't have the finishing. Like when you guys say about Purdue and their demons and they can't do that, it's just Marquette. I just don't think they have enough. Here's my sleeper.
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Okay. My sleeper, and I think they're the 5, I don't have it in front of me, is St. Mary's. Watching them go through their conference tournament, they check all of the boxes. They have post play, they have guard play.
You watched that?
Hey,
did you stay up late?
No, it was on. It was.
No wonder you bitch when you don't have a prep period. I can't take my nap. I stayed up and watched Mountain West basketball.
They were on, and you talk about they got up and down the floor.
They
were whack basketball. It was whack.
They could hit the 3. They check all of the boxes. I'm not saying they're winning.
They check it, and then they're losing North Carolina. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, maybe. I think it'll be a ball game.
I didn't say that. Hey, you can still have a good game and play with somebody and still lose.
That's true.
It has happened before.
Lots of times.
It'll happen again.
Who's your guys' dark horse? Who's your upset?
Mine's
pick?
Marquette. I like Marquette.
I was with Chris.
You
on
like
that
Shaka?
one. I like Marquette.
I think that they're really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're going to get to at least the Elite 8, and I think they're going to lose to Houston because Houston's pretty good. Hey, it's a mid-major who's trying to be a not mid-major playing against
Houston?
a team that probably they were really good a long time ago, but they weren't, and then they were, and then they weren't. And now they're good again. That's Marquette.
I've got James Madison as an upset. I think UAB is going to upset. I just
Where do you
there's
acquire this knowledge? You you listen to Joe Lenardi or something? Because that guy's a piece of crap. He's got the stupidest job in the entire sports world. He only has to show up to work for a freaking month and 2 weeks, and he makes
no. Hold on, time out. In your Mel Kiper.
Yes,
No. Hey,
everybody, you made a decision to go this way. You made a decision to go that way.
He made a good one if he's only working for 1 month out of the year.
He's a piece of crap.
That's probably because you probably had Bobby Knight in Indiana on your bracket one year, and he threw chairs or something, and you busted your bracket.
Nothing to do with that. I think the worst bracket I ever had. I think my final 4 picks all lost in the second round. It was like, well, that's great. Let me go wipe my butt with this bracket while I'm at it. Anyway, Jason, who's your final 4?
I don't know.
He hauls around.
He's
still filling it out.
He's not prepared. Yeah, he's
still
not
filling it out.
No, I have not even filled one out. I think
he's in the process of it.
There is a surprise team for me, and you guys are all going to laugh, but the TCU Horned Frogs.
I talked about them too.
Nope.
Who talked about them? Who were you getting?
Joe Lenardi. It's called the interwebs. Turn off the Disney Plus, and then
watch Disney Plus in months.
Hey, Chris, TCU is the talk of all the 10 p.m. halftime shows,
right?
The ones that Zach stays up to watch.
You think I've stayed up that late?
They won 9 of their first 10 games. They've been hot of late. TCU. If I had a real sleeper, I think Tennessee could do something.
Can a team from the Pac-12 actually do anything before they lose their conference? Yes or no?
They could, but they won't.
It's just Arizona, right?
Who's the school? Wait, who's the schools that didn't find a home in another conference?
Washington State, Oregon State.
Is Oregon be part of the Big Ten?
Yes.
Okay, so it's almost like they got kicked out of their conference.
Yeah, Auburn at a 4. They might upset. They might, make a little noise.
I like Auburn. I do. And I'll tell you what, that was a pretty feisty game that they had going on the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes.
Who did you just say?
Auburn.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys think about Oregon?
I have them winning the first round. They might win the next one. I'm not sure how good Creighton is. I have not watched Creighton play this year.
No, I haven't.
No.
I
think
Creighton, they're in the Big East still, or did they?
Creighton, yeah. Creighton might do. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Your thought.
Well, this debatable topic, just because we're talking about the bracket. Do you believe in momentum? Miracle. Do you believe in momentum of the conference tournament? So you win your conference tournament, you're not supposed to. So let's go in NC State. Do you think that they can make a run because, hey, they won this, power conference tournament. Now they get in, and could they make a run? Could they catch lightning in a bottle again? I know years back with Kimba, won some money with him, but in UConn, because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the team that's hot and won the conference tournament. So what do you think? Do you think that's real, or do you think it's like I think it's all matched up?
I think it's either they're gonna make some noise or they're gonna make a quick exit. A lot of times they, shot their best shot in that tournament.
I think if momentum's a bigger thing if you can play right away, but I think there's been some time off.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's what I was getting at. The time off, the celebration of winning the tournament. But Long Beach State now, they're going to.
Well,
I'll just say, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'd say you talk about that. Momentum is important, and it also depends on a little bit of luck and where you get matched up at and the teams you're going up against, because, you don't know what those teams that make that run, there is a little bit of magic that has to happen for them to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's the great thing about the NCAA tournament, because you just don't know.
Right.
You really don't, man. It's that it could, you don't know. I mean, one of these teams can hit a couple shots, and the next thing you know, you got a 1 seed that went down to a 16, or I mean, hell, some of the big schools survive, and then you'd think, man, they're not going to win. They just go on a roll because they are hot. There's all kinds of different factors that go into it, but I think matchups mean more in the grand scheme of things. Teams with good guards tend to do a lot better than teams with dominating forwards and post players. And good
Purdue.
guard.
I mean, Purdue's a prime example. You got Edney. How are you not winning when you've got, I mean, outside of international picks, probably a dude that NBA guys are salivating over to hey, I can get a big man and maybe swing that pendulum back a little bit, back to the 90s or whatnot. I don't know. I just don't see how Purdue hasn't had an opportunity, how they haven't won more in the tournament. But it's because you're right, Chris. They just guard play.
Guard plays the biggest thing. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Speaking of guard play, I mean, we can jump over the women's side. I'll be honest with you. I have seen very little of the women's tournament bracket because, again, I just started looking at the men's one here recently. What's our feelings on that? We feel like Ponytail Pete's gonna make another magic run to the finals championship game.
I just think it's gonna wind up being it's South Carolina's to lose. I mean, that's all it is.
I want to see the matchup, the Iowa versus South Carolina matchup. Because you talk about momentum and some things, it's sometimes one great player can carry a team through these next few weeks. And Caitlin Clark's the kind of player that can carry a team through that.
Great player.
Just okay.
I think I've heard of her.
She's okay.
Right, so put your coach's hat on. You're playing in this tournament. So another debatable question.
I can wear my coach's hat while I coach.
There you go. Okay. So what do you do? How do you defend in this one and done tournament? Do you try to take away the star player, or B, do you let the star player do what they do, but you have to limit absolutely everybody else?
Wait. Are you saying in the women's or the men's?
Women's.
Take it however you want.
You can't coach both of them the same way.
Okay, then take it how you want. Either do both. Say both.
Oh. I have to think a little bit harder about that, about the men's side of it. I mean, because
I don't think you have the dudes like you do in the women's game.
I think in the women's game it's top heavy though. I mean, it's literally top heavy.
Well,
now,
sure.
the thing about the women's game that people probably don't understand, you saw that even at the high school level at the Final Four, is when you get to that level, everybody on your team is fundamentally sound. And women's basketball, and especially at the college level, they are fundamentally sound as all get out. So the game, I feel like that makes women's basketball a little more pure than men's, is the women are more fundamental, and they just are. And it's just the brand of basketball. You're going to see a little bit more of that. The X factor is those girls are at the highest level of their game. Paige Beckers, obviously Caitlin Clark, and hell, everybody on South Carolina's team. So that they tip the scale so much because they're that much better and they have a different level, and it's hard to overcome that because it on the women's side. So if I'm coaching, I'm going to try since it's so top heavy and it's not spread out, and then maybe like these 2 or 3 seeds. Hell, I might be boxing one. I might go back old school junk defense to take these kids and take them out of the game, because again, I'm gonna make the other ones beat me because they're not at that level like that other kid is. So we're gonna take that one away. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Can't do that. I don't feel like men.
In some of those instances, I'm going to be a little bit like, I'm going to play not junk defenses, but we'll play a little bit more attention to that star player. Let her get her points, but not let the other ones aren't going to be the ones that are going to, So I'll let her get her 35, but I think we can outscore that 35 if we keep the rest of them at bay. So,
Jason, you coach girls basketball for a while.
And the college level, I think it's a little different. At the high school level, you may be able to junk defense someone. College level, I mean, I'll take Iowa, for instance. They got some other players that can do some things. So if you concentrate all on that one and a couple of them other players get above their average, I mean, you got to pay some attention to Caitlin Clark if you're that's a hard decision for me.
I don't see why you wouldn't face guard her. Like, as soon as she steps on the court, just be standing right there next to her. I want to know what kind of gum she chews, that kind of thing. Like, why? I don't see why you wouldn't do that, because I wouldn't worry about that. Who would you think is going to beat you? The next best player for Iowa or Caitlin Clark? Go ahead and name the second best player for Iowa. I'll wait.
It's at number 24.
Oh, you don't even know her name. So number 24 what is this? NCAA football 14. It's the number so and so. That's about what it is.
I don't know how many girls games I watched all year. I mean, come on.
I'll put it like this: I probably watched more college girls basketball, women's basketball, than I did men's basketball this year.
Well, they said that the numbers came back that way.
I watched every time Iowa was on. If it was on, I watched.
So there you go. Who? Okay, that brings up a little question before we go to our next break. Who is the best player in women's college basketball? Go right now.
Right now,
college basketball, women's college basketball. Go ahead,
Caitlin Clark.
Okay, Jack.
I'm
Zach.
Clark.
Okay.
Clark.
Okay.
Paige
Now,
Beckers, maybe.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that it's Caitlin Clark, and then it's everybody else. Okay, men's, go. Oh, you don't have a recognizable face of men's college basketball like you do in women's.
Okay, do you ever? Okay, now I'll go back to here. Christian,
where's the 10 years?
I was gonna say, where's the last Christian Leitner? You know what I mean?
Christian Leitner stayed how many years, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who was there. Why is everybody hating him? Because he played there so damn long. I mean, you don't have guys who stay so much. I mean, stay for a long time. So you know what happens then? Hey, we don't know who these guys. I couldn't tell you right now. I can't even tell you. I can't tell you anybody who plays for Duke right now, top of my head.
I can't either.
I can't.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I've been that way. And I watched North Carolina Duke. I was an ACC person. I like watching it. And I can't tell you, not a single damn player. And it's because you don't know if they're going to be there. The transfer portal in men's basketball is crazy right now. You have the one and dones, the blue chippers, like Tatum. Tatum, I thought, man, he goes to Duke, but he ain't going to stay. And everybody knew that. He's going to go to the league. So see ya. Peace out, Girl Scout. I'm out. And that's what happens. So I don't know who's going to be there. But in women's, you have girls that are staying longer. Mm-hmm. And they're more identified.
Right now.
There you go. You say Paige Beckers. Wait, we've named two.
Hey, go Juju from USC.
Okay.
I mean,
now again, that's what I'm saying. You can name them in women.
Bronny. I'm only naming that. That's all I know. Dude. Like, I'm serious. That's like all I know. I don't know. I can name more Mizzou players than anything else.
The good player from Houston. I watched it. I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
You've got Baycott from North Carolina.
That's the one. Okay, there you go.
But why do you know him?
Because he's been there.
He's been there.
Yeah, I knew. I couldn't think of his name. That's why I didn't want to butcher it. Right. But
it's the ones that have been like the Edneys from Purdue. Those guys that have been there for seems like 8 COVID years. Type of thing.
And it's not. It's just now to the point. It's like, oh my gosh, these guys are seniors. It's like it's a bad word or something. I don't know. Real quick, I want to jump into this a little bit. And Kevin, you mentioned it about the. We'll talk about it now. I want to talk about it now. The schools turning down NIT bids. Go ahead. You introduced it. But I want to jump.
So it would be one of those.
I introduced it in the chat, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yes. But we needed to throw it in here. How do you feel about schools turning down postseason tournament bids, whether it's an NIT bid? How do you feel about it?
Well, I think it's
as a
garbage.
coach.
I think it's garbage, but when you open up the NIL, when you do, I think that's why some of those like blue blood schools were like, I'm not going to NIT. I'm going to go on the road. I'm going
to go get in the portal because it gives me the chance to go rebuild my roster in the portal.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the portal. I'm not going to mess with this tournament. This team's already done what it can do. So what if we win the NIT?
I'll give you the list of teams that did. Okay.
So you're saying the teams that refused.
That turned down the NIT invitation. St. John's, okay, coached by Rick Pitino. Pitt, Jeff Capel's the coach. Oklahoma, Porter Moser. Memphis, Penny Hardaway. Ole Miss, Chris Beard. Indiana, Mike Woodson. Those are notable ones. Those are pretty big time programs to say thanks, but no thanks. But you're exactly right though. They can get a head start on recruiting, either your transfer portal stuff, which I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy kind of thing, or straight up recruiting for high school while all these other guys are playing, and that's exactly what they should do. I do not fault them in the day of NIL and the transfer portal. You're damn right. If I'm not making the big dance, I don't need to be dancing. I'm going to rest my feet and get ready for the next run. That's how I feel about it.
Is this the beginning of the slow death of the NIT?
I think the NIT can become a nice little tournament for all the mid-majors and the D1 schools that can't make it because they're not good enough.
Well, I was going to say, do you have bad Power 5 schools come in and play?
I don't know. Mizzou might be looking for something to do right now.
They should have been looking to play defense all year. That's their problem.
Definitely. Well,
they're going to team camps now, man.
They did not have the roster to compete.
No.
Well,
they took a lot of bad shots too. But that's
three of the guys that they brought in through the transfer portal are in the transfer portal going out.
They can go.
Yeah.
Here's your walking paper.
They can go.
Here they come.
What three was it even?
Oh, two of them I can remember. Mayock.
He can go.
He's terrible. He couldn't
what is that guy? The
Cal
Yeah. He can go.
Yeah.
Anybody else who wants to go too, they can
the guy that everybody complained about getting starts at the beginning of the year.
Well, he can go.
So the only two transfers I think that they're
right.
Yeah.
He was number 13, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he was terrible anyway. When he played later in the year, I'm like, this dude's garbage.
The only two transfers they talked about needing to stay at Mizzou are the left-hander war number 2. Can't think of what his name was.
Yeah, he'll stay.
The scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts with a B, maybe. Or Dave.
Hey, all I know is I watched a lot of really good basketball, and I feel like there were some guys this last couple weekends who could help Mizzou.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
I'll tell you right now. I mean, it'd been a tight game. Maybe put Cardinal Ritter against Mizzou.
I think if you took
the
top 2 or 3
of every team,
and made a team, I think they could beat Mizzou.
That was the 10:00 game on Saturday night at the end of the weekend.
Hey guys, we're trying to put things up. No, hey, we're gonna play one more. Just get out of here.
We got winners.
Mizzou just didn't have the one guy that could just make a basket for themselves. Like
no,
I mean, East
Kobe
tried
Brown.
to be it,
and
then oh my God, Honor! I would have told him to quit shooting. What the hell? Quit
just pass
shooting,
the ball, buddy.
You fat point guard. Quit shooting.
Whoa, what's wrong with fat point guards? Khaled El-Amin, we just talked about him.
He's no Jameer Nelson, I'll tell you that.
Are you suggesting that he takes the Ron Rhodes approach and gets on the fat farm and has to wear trash?
Cannot confirm or deny that unless you watch the show, watch the old episodes. They're on YouTube. You can see them all there. Real quick to put a bow on the teams turning down the NIT bids. You could be right though. It could be the end of the NIT as a quality tournament. It is what it is. That these teams didn't make it.
What, is it 32 teams now, or is it?
I think it's still 32.
Yeah, it may end up being like a 16-team
I
tournament.
watched Xavier and I don't even remember who they were playing last night. They were on.
Can you name any of the players on the team?
Hell no, I couldn't name any players. I can name like all the teams that you just mentioned. I don't know one player on any of those teams.
Man.
Memphis, none of them. I know their coaches, some of them, but that's it.
Okay, so that goes into maybe not the problem, but just the fact that who's the face of men's basketball? It's the coaches.
I was already say, like, I thought we just covered that.
No, I'm just saying it's the coaches.
Oh, it is right now.
Yeah.
It's not
the players. It's
because players keep moving around. I mean, they at some point. I mean, don't you guys think you're gonna have to say you can only transfer this many times or whatever?
They have to at some point. It's
getting out of hand. It's like it's not even fun. I mean, it's like I don't know.
It's basketball. It's the beginning of the movie Basketball.
Yeah.
Well,
and after
they were right.
And after 1 year as a host at the Desert Inn, I'm finally here in the great city of Miami, Minnesota, whatever. It's the same thing.
Right?
It's you don't know. They're all just jumping around. I don't know who plays for all these schools anymore. It sucks. That's what I don't like about it.
Okay, neither do their fan bases, really.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. And I mean, again, not that I don't think we necessarily care that much about the NBA, but if you look at the NBA and you look at the draft this year, they're projected like the first four to six picks are going to be international dudes.
Well,
so
yeah.
does this harm American basketball and that development for the guys that are going to go to the NBA? Or now I've heard conspiracy theories on why they changed the rules to make it more adaptable for the European players. But is it, I don't know. I mean, are we creating a good product on the floor that can sustain itself and then go be successful at the pros?
Okay. So I don't watch the NBA, and I've been very adamant about not watching the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to think about outside of someone like LeBron or Kevin Durant, and they're also old.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the face of the NBA. Okay, Jokic is a 2-time MVP. Luka Doncic, however you say it, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you have Wemby, who is the number 1 pick. He's French, by the way.
You got Ant-Man.
Giannis.
He's Greek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I named literally like what the top 4 right there.
Yeah.
Ant-Man is the leading scorer right now.
And where's he from?
Anthony Edwards.
The problem is he plays in Minnesota.
I know that. Where is he from?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Is he like the only?
I think he's American.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So we named 4 guys that are the face of the league who are not named LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. And what's the common factor for those 3 guys? They're old. The new guys coming in,
yeah,
most of them. Why? Because they're more fundamental. They just are, man. They are just more fundamental. And that's what these guys want. They want the big guys who can pass and shoot. Wemby, I'm like, man, this dude's going to get broke in half. I mean, outside of some injuries because he's a little frail, he's putting up quite really good numbers, man.
Well, and that's part of the conspiracy theory. On
the game's changed a lot.
The game has changed.
Sure.
The rules have changed. The officiating's changed compared to what it was back in the 90s. And
yeah, but we can't keep playing that game of, well, if it was today's game, or I was playing back then, but we're not. You're not. Just like the style is so much different.
Well, I think that's the conspiracy theory, is to make it more adaptable for the European players. And so
I think there was some more physicality in some of those high school games we saw this weekend than I see in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't see a lot of flopping in those high school games either, like I see in the NBA. The embellishment, Kevin, embellishment. That's what NBA players do.
LeBron does it so bad.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the worst I think I've ever seen.
Dude, the people have put the real.
Hold on,
together.
you say that over Vlade?
Vlade would flop. Embellishing is different.
Okay.
It is totally different.
Like if he gets if it like remotely gets like hit in the face, it's like he's out. He falls down and the dude is out. Like, and then the next thing you know, he's back in the game and slamming it home. And I can't
remember where I was, and there was a soccer game on, and of course I'm not watching it because I don't care. The only thing I saw was a St. Louis game and St. Louis City game, and I can't remember who they're playing, but somebody kicked the ball, and the two guys go after it. And next thing you know, somebody falls down, and they're holding their knee, and they're like just screaming, and then they get up, and it's like I would be embarrassed, just embarrassed to be like, yeah, you did that.
There's a reason we don't watch soccer, Chris.
You're a wuss.
It's the worst sport.
Anyway.
Well, that's a bit much.
I would rather.
Kevin is offended.
I would rather watch tennis.
I enjoy a good tennis match.
Well, speaking of other sports, we can do this next segment. I know we can do it next segment. Hey, the second season of Full Swing on Netflix came out.
I've never watched it. Never watched it.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Golf, Full Swing.
I've never even seen any of it.
Well, I guess we'll have to watch it before we can really get into it.
Oh yeah,
it's like QB1, but golf version of it.
You cannot compare golf to being like QB1. There's no way.
All right. Well, when we come back, I've got something that I want to throw out there. A little surprise for you guys. So,
surprise! I love
surprise! We'll be right back. Surprise!
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Someone
That's broken too, pal.
Please insert your
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Case and Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
Welcome back to our third and final segment of the Coach's Box. If you like our show, don't forget to, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Don't forget to like the videos. We always appreciate that. And share it. You can share it. Sharing is caring. And you can do all of that for absolutely no dollars or cents out of your pocket. It's a pretty great deal. Cheap entertainment. You get to make fun of us. I mean, feel free to do that. You can make TikToks out of us. We don't care. You can make reels out of it. We don't care. It's just free publicity for us. Maybe we end up in places like real journalism, like The Leader. And like we did this week. It's great. So
I'm gonna okay.
we don't have a newspaper, Jarvis. That's right. That's right. But anyway, if you like the show, don't forget to do that, and we really appreciate that, and everybody who watches and listens, and puts our show in their mouth. We really appreciate that. So continue doing that. What's so funny, Zach?
I just watched it, looking at Kevin's reaction.
Yeah, Kevin reacted on
that. Somebody please take away Chris's microphone. I do not want to know what the surprise is now.
It's so I've really sat there during the commercial break and was really trying to figure out how to properly broach this subject.
Oh boy,
it's not anything bad. Kevin, you're not allowed to send messages anymore that no one else can see because it is terrible. My question is this, just to kind of go about this, because I want to get you guys' take, and Jarvis probably, once I start going on this, he's going to know where I'm going. So this year was a little different in years past as far as how the MBCA, the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association, did all district voting. In the past, we did voting at the each district site. So we'd have the seed meeting and we would seed the teams. And then the coaches would sit around after the seed meeting was done and they would talk about their players. They'd have their kids they were going to nominate for all district. They would vote for it on the spot at that moment. And one person from the district would collect all of that information and send it to the the all state chair with the MBCA. And that process was fine for many, many years, up until the point when a couple things happened. Number one, we got social media, and that made things a little more interesting. And what made it really bad was the MBCA made the decision last year that you had to be a member. The head coach had to be a member of the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association in order to have a player on the all-district team. In years past, it was you had to be a member in order to have your player on the all-state team. The reason is, if it's an MBCA award, why wouldn't the coach need to be a part of the association? Which, being a member of the MBCA, which I always have been, I kind of makes sense to me. So last year, after that was passed, we said, hey, don't release the teams. The association said, don't release the teams, the all-district teams, to the public until memberships can be checked. Unfortunately, coaches did not do that because apparently there was some reward that they got for being the first person to post about their kid being all district on social media before they were supposed to. And there were kids who, if their coaches didn't pay their membership, were going to get pulled from the all district team. And it created kind of a little bit of a stink for, a few days where a lot of coaches hadn't paid their membership. This year, all of the all district teams are collected. The nominations are collected, sent out from the MBCA. They are collected from those coaches. Ballots are created, sent out digitally to the coaches. They vote on it. Those results are kept by the MBCA up until after each Show Me Showdown. So class 1 through 3, the results came out on Monday. Class 4 through 6, they came out on Monday after each Final Four. Now, I've heard a lot of complaints because that's literally my role with the MBCA is doing that.
You're the extorter.
I am the person, and that's one of the reasons I want to come to this, because I've had the most interesting emails I've ever had in my entire life over the last month, say 5 weeks. And it's really fun. I have been called an extorter because why should we have to pay? I don't understand. All you're doing is taking money. Well, yeah, I guess, but we're also giving your kid those honors that they wouldn't get if you weren't a member. But hey, if again, it's an MBCA honor, why wouldn't you be a member? The thing that I'm kind of wondering is Jason, you're an active coach, and you've done it both ways. And Zach, you have been a head coach, and you've had to do it at the local level. And Kevin, I believe that you guys do it this way. So I want to get each of your thoughts on this process, and and just in general, because I've heard the overwhelming positive from it, but I've also heard things that are negative as well. And I just want to, I want to be sure and kind of see, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's definitely opened my eyes on a lot of the things that coaches don't do well, like read. But
check email.
Check email. Go ahead, jump in there. I don't care. I just want to talk about this in a public manner.
Well, I will first off and say, as someone who manages for a different sport, I'm heavily involved in the Missouri Softball Coaches Association. I have zero issues with having to be a member to get your kids recognized. And I say it for this way. It is not the all district team. It is in your case, the MBCA all district team. So it is your group's district team, your membership's district team. If they want to start their own membership to have their own district team, nobody's stopping them from doing it. It's the same thing with softball. It is our coaches association. It is not the MSHSAA. MSHSAA really has nothing to do with the coaches association.
Want anything to do
and
with
they want nothing to do with it. They barely give us lists of coaches' names. We have to go hunt them down at the beginning of the year.
That's the exact same thing that we'd have to do.
So I have zero issues with that. It's not extortion. It's then go start your own damn program for all I care. But you're in charge of doing it all the Google Forms, all the crap. You do it all. So I don't have any issues there. Softball's a smaller sport than what basketball is. Far less schools play it. We kind of stay more socialized and stay more regionalized when it comes to our classifications. There's a class 1 rep, a class 2 rep, class 3, class 4, and those VPs handle a lot of that stuff within those classifications. But I got no issues with how you guys handle it at all. It's a lot of work on you. I don't know that I would like doing it that way. It puts.
Oh, did we lose him?
It's almost 9:30 in Festus.
It's just right down the road.
Kevin is frozen.
Yep,
frozen. He's frozen in a decent, not like.
Jarvis, I can only see like from your nose down. There we go. I was wondering what you're doing.
I had to lean back. I can't get comfortable.
Hang on, wait. Hey, I think Kevin's coming back. Kevin, are you there? Kevin? Oh, there we go.
No,
maybe
he froze again.
Is he froze again? Gosh, this is gonna be great.
His Wi-Fi sucks.
Pay your bill. Hey, pay your fee. You get your internet. I mean,
that's right. Simple, your membership. All right, Jason. While we're waiting on Kevin, go ahead.
Well, oh, there he is. He's back.
Oh.
No, we're not taking 3. Go, Jarvis. Go.
Go ahead, Jarvis.
So I'm supposed to say whether I.
No, I mean, what's what was your thoughts on it?
Okay, well, I told you this in the beginning, Chris. I didn't even know I had to be a member when I first got hired as a basketball coach. No one ever explained this to me. No one said in order to nominate your kids for all district that you have to be a part of the association. I was not told any of that. So
that's only a new rule. It's only the last 2 years. Before that, everybody's kids made all district. It didn't matter if you remember or not.
So that's okay. So you didn't have to be a member or anything.
Back in the day, no.
Now I do think that Judy Sobel took care of us being members, which I didn't even know. But I thought it worked out pretty well this year. And if the Coaches Association is the one doing all the work, then it's $45.
Yeah,
it's not like you're and come to the Final Four, take some advantages of some of the things that the Coaches Association does, and like this year, I'm going to try to figure out how I can come up to the coaches clinic that they have in September. I'll have to leave early to be back for the Friday night football game, but I'm going to try to work it out so I can go up there on that Thursday and do all that and learn some stuff that may help me win some games and be a part of the association. If you're worried about your $45, you can get it back by just being a part of it. I mean, I ate well I ate well worth my $45 in food and soda and water.
And that's the thing. I mean, you talk about the coaches clinic because you pay that fee and then you become a member. And I'll be honest with you, Missouri, from what I've heard over the years and being a part of it for so many years, and then seeing DVDs from championship productions that come out from the coaches that go to the Missouri coaching clinic, I can tell you right now that Missouri has one of the best high school basketball coaches clinics in the country.
They do.
Okay.
Second to Texas, I believe.
Okay, I was going to say that was the state that was coming to mind. So that right there is worth your membership, because if you are doing what you're supposed to do as a coach and you have that availability, if you're not coaching 5,000 things, going to those clinics, that right there takes care of it. And then you get your free T-shirt, or if you want to say that's part of your fee, you get to network, you get all of those, all the different things that come with it at the booths and the tables, and you learn a lot, just like Jarvis said. I mean, that right there is worth it, let alone, again, just what you again, if that's what the association wants to do, then that's what they want to do. I mean, to me, okay. And again, Chris, we probably differ on this a little bit. I look at it as, and we can go back and forth, and you guys can say your piece on this. I look at it this way: if we are in it for the kids, then why does there need to be a fee for recognition for the kids? That's my only hang up on any of it, is just because that's, I don't know, if you're going to be all district, if you're going to be all state, academic all state, that's my only concern. And so you guys go back and kind of give your retort on it from that perspective. But again, the clinic and all the other benefits that go along with being a member, totally agree, and it's totally worth it.
Well, because it's again, it's a MBCA award.
Mm-hmm.
So your coach should be a part of that too. I mean, you can't win the Oscar without being part of the academy. So it kind of eliminates you right there. And those same organizations are the same way. And I know it's about the kids, but the kids aren't going to sign up for like, oh, hey, I need to sign up for this so I can be recognized for all districts.
To me,
and
it's nothing to do thing, right?
Well,
like the
it technically should be. Your school should have money budgeted like we do for your membership, so your kids can be recognized. It's part of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if I might have a kid who's just all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to be really good. Well, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that he has that opportunity and then do my part. I mean, but again, I guess I didn't phrase this as well as I'd like to. The voting in person and the voting virtually has been kind of the thing that's been the new part with this process. So, in the past, we'd all write our kids, the kids down, can't vote for your own kids, turn them in, and we'd tally everything up. The kid with the highest amount of points would be district player of the year. And then, including him and the other 9 would make up your all district team. And it's not, again, for anybody who ever watches this, it's not an all tournament team. For the love of God, please shut your mouth. It's not. But then this year, we use a Google form, and you click first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You would think that a freaking monkey couldn't screw that up. But apparently, again, I've seen a lot of stuff in the last couple of weeks. First, second, third, fourth. I don't know why you'd vote 10th, 9th, 8th if you were thinking that 10 was 1, but whatever. What's your thoughts on that in comparison? I mean, again, Jason, you've done it both ways. What's your thoughts?
I was fine with it being done virtually. I mean, in person, I mean, I guess you can try to influence people of your kid, but a lot of times people already decided before the meeting's even held. So, I mean, let's just make it easier on everyone and put it on the Google form.
What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? We're doing the show virtually. Like, save me the drive from having to drive an hour or wherever on a Saturday morning, and say, let's just have this meeting virtually. Let's do the vote on the Google form or whatever you want to do. We can sit here and talk about, we can do the seed meeting virtually. We can do the voting virtually. It's no different. And then bing, 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 it's done. And that's what it is.
And coaches can still go and talk to other coaches and try to influence votes. They can do that whether it's virtual or in person, and they probably did. They could plan it out better because they had more time to do it, because it didn't have to be done in the 10 minutes right there during the meeting. But
yeah, you get to type it out. So I mean, I guess, but like, Will can't even think that's happened recently. Anyone else? Oh my God.
That's a fair question. I mean, it's easier when you have more time to prepare, from what I gather. You know, I'll tell you some of the feedback that I got. I did have some coaches reach out and say that they wish that we would have released the all district teams to the coaches before we release it to the public, so they could see, you know, if there were any errors, or let's just say somebody finagled the votes, because the coaches didn't see the results of the voting until everybody else. So Joe Public and Joe Coach both saw it at the same exact time. And I think that the coaches kind of worried about that, because then they thought, well, if there was a mistake. So here's one of the things that we did, because we didn't release the results of the votes to the coaches automatically. They could request it. So if one coach, let's just say we have a district of 4 guys right here. So if Jarvis wanted to see the votes and he made the request, then we would send all of the coaches in the district the votes, so they all get to see it. So it wasn't like, you know, Jason wanted to know for his own personal benefit. Well, if he was curious about it, we just sent it to everybody. And then that way everybody had it. So I'd have to answer, you know, 3 different people, you know, 3 other people along with Jason wanting to know the votes. That way it's just done. It's a done deal. And if you really want to know it that bad, there's a good chance that maybe somebody did finagle the votes if things didn't go the way that you thought. You have to be the one that has to deal with that coach. It's not anything we won't have to deal with. It's you guys. It's coaches. Because at the end of the day, if you just did the right damn thing, this ain't a problem. And the reason you can't release those results to the coaches is because, like I said before, we're going to be the first one to jump on social media and post. I literally got an email from a coach that I know who asked me for the results of the votes, because they had an athletic banquet coming up later that week, and they wouldn't tell anybody. You just told me you're going to tell somebody at the banquet that they made all district. That ends up on social media. Then somebody else in another district's like, wait, what? No. Hey, I want to know what my kids did. And then everybody starts. So again, you can't do that. It didn't matter. Jason, you had kids that made all district. When did I tell you that they made all district?
Well, I voted for all states. It was a little different, but yes, I would not. No one knows until they were released.
That's right.
I mean,
didn't matter. Nobody knew. There was me and the 2 other people. But that's the thing. Everybody wanted to know that. So I don't know. I was just curious if you guys had feedback. I thought you guys have a lot more feedback about that. Especially Zach.
Well,
Zach, I thought you'd be all over like, no. Go back to pencil and paper. Do it in person.
Heck no. Why? Why
no...
do that when it's 5 minutes? Why have a meeting when you could have a 5-minute email?
Because then you can go to the Catfish Kettle.
Because nobody reads the email.
Well,
my God.
Hey, that might be part of the problem.
Now, I don't mind having.
I wouldn't say nobody. Most.
I don't mind having a seed meeting or something. I don't care to go, but this was way easier for this. I mean, why not just send the ballot out? I mean, like, I nominated my players, we put them on there, and then you pick. I mean, you got a district of whatever, 5 teams, whatever it is, and 6 teams, and you pick. And I mean, you know, if you didn't nominate someone, that's on you. I mean, you know,
We did have some issues with schools that didn't nominate, and then they came back and wanted to put a kid on the team. Well, no,
Too bad,
can't do
so
that.
sad.
After it was released,
Too bad, so sad.
hey, you would be surprised how many coaches don't understand what a deadline is.
And then get mad when their kids don't turn things in by deadlines.
Correct.
Well, I couldn't believe his email and how much it went off while we were at the state Final Four, and there's coaches still don't have it turned in yet, dude.
Wait. So if the all-state meeting was on Saturday, I had we had two schools that hadn't paid membership dues on Friday. One of them did at 10:30 in the morning, and the other one didn't, and had kids that had to be removed from the all-district team. And
Again.
I had been in contact with them. They had returned my email and never did. Now,
Again.
how is it? So in 2 years of doing this, that was the first and the only kids that we had to take off the list. It made me sick, but at the same time, I'm mad because it's someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone else. Why would you not just do that? And it's not like it was a school that didn't have $45, and all you had to do, hell, if it had Venmo'd me the money, I'd have done it myself for them right then and registered and been done with it. So the kids would have got it. But I'm not doing all of your job for you.
As a coach, how are you not just paying it yourself then?
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of them that end up doing that.
I want my kid to get recognition, man. I want my kids to get as much recognition that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that do? Well, it not only puts my kid out there, it puts my program out there and makes kids at our school go, wow, look, we got I got two kids on the all district, and Tanner Duncan and Jacob Borland. Tanner's only a sophomore, made all district this year. Some of them other kids are like, wow, sophomore, make all district. Maybe I need to get busted my butt this year so I can make all districts next year. And, it's just, and kids deserve it. I mean, kids that put in the time and the effort and the work and to get that recognition.
Yeah. And again, that's where I say that's my only gripe is that you just hate that for the kids. It's just like anything. It's always the adults that mess things up. And so it always comes back to bite the kids in the rear end. And you hate that for them. But again, I mean, hey, it's literally not that hard to wake up and follow the rules on a daily basis.
And it's not like that. I'm sure not just the coach was notified. So I'm sure admin and other people got emails too about it. So there's no way as a coach that can happen. It can't happen.
Well, there's going to be there's definitely going to be some changes to update the process. And I mean, we met and talked about it, and there's a few ideas that I think we have in place that'll make it even better. Overall, I did feel like it was positive. It was a lot of work. Jason, I don't know what time I got there on Saturday from the all state meeting, but I was like, hey, I'll see you in a little bit when we're done. And I think I got there at like 3. The meeting started at 11.
On Saturday, I watched, well, I was not by myself. Chris's dad was there.
Big Jim.
Big Jim.
In the flesh.
And talking. He talked a lot. So I got to watch the games. Well, luckily we sat where all the refs were, so he talked the refs' ears off, man. Like Paul Fitzwater and Marler was down there, and there was several referees, and they all talked to me too. But I mean, like Big Jim really, really talked to them a long
I got to tell you my favorite Big Jim story, though. Well, I want the second favorite. So Jason, you and Lee Richardson were there watching and talking to my dad, and I was up actually, trying to do some stuff. I guess it was the Vashon semifinal game, or was the finals? I can't remember.
And one of the two, yeah.
So the Vashon's warming up, and Jason and Lee are talking to my dad or whatever point, and then I guess they're talking to whoever, and they turn around and look, and they're like, "Where's Miller's dad at?"
No,
And
Lee looks at me and goes, "Look over there at the bench." I'm like, "What? Look over at the bench." Miller's dad's going to get us all kicked out of here. And I look over, and Miller's dad is on the Mizzou Arena court, on the Vashon bench, just talking the ear off of one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, and he knows him. Yeah.
Lee goes, "Look at him." I'm like, "Oh my God. Oh my gosh." I'm like, I can't wait till Chris finds this out. It's going to be so funny.
I was so
for
pissed.
$45, you get a membership that allows you to do that.
No, wait. He was
$45 get you a membership to let your dad go
do
do that.
No, wait. Best is he was
Who's extorting now, right?
he was a representative
Of
of
the coach's box. His
So he
media
had a
pass
media
said-
pass.
It's a
And he's-
coach's box. I'm
Wayne's
like,
World.
So
Wayne's
when
World got the
these
pass
guys
out.
when these guys told me about this, I'm like, he did what? So I told him, I go, it's
Oh,
I
he
don't know if you heard it.
He
I said,
chewed him.
hey, I just got a call from Jason West at
This is
Misha,
great.
and he said, "What the hell is your dad doing on the court? He can't be there." And I said, "You're going to get us all kicked out." And he goes, "Well, I just over there talking to him." I said, "This ain't the Bloomfield Christmas tournament, bro. You can't just go wherever you want to
And
go."
he's got his MVP or whatever.
MPV farm shirt on. I'm
MPV
like,
farm
"Oh
shirt
my
on.
gosh."
You know, camouflage hat over there, jeans. And I'm like, I mean, Lee's like, dude, we're all
Yeah.
getting kicked out.
And no, I gotta say, Jason West, he is retiring at the end of this year. He was fantastic, and they were nice, except for Sky, who took my all access pass. But that's another story. But other than that, it was a fun experience. That was my fun Big Jim story that I'm going to tell on the air. But no, I was just kind of curious what you guys thought about all that, and I've got plenty of other stories I'll tell you off the air too. But anyway, we can wrap the show up. It's been a good show, and I can't wait to watch some college basketball, man. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, and I'm going to take a shameless plug. If you're looking for somewhere to go at Easter and you don't have a church, Grace Life Chapel in Peevely. It's a fun place to go. Dan Lord's the pastor. Good place.
His last name is Lord.
Yes.
Wow. Good
Hey,
Lord.
and you know, hey, Jarvis should know this, but you know what this Friday, Saturday weekend, the Sunday weekend is number one weekend in America, don't you? Jarvis, it's number one weekend for guys getting vasectomies, so they could sit and watch basketball all weekend.
Why are you saying this to me?
I'm just saying. I figured you never know.
I am already done. I'm good.
and the show has hit a new low.
That's what. Hey, you know that's what
where
it
do you
is. Everybody
acquire
gets,
this
they-
knowledge?
they-
And, everybody knows. I had no idea where
Everybody-
you were going with
The
this.
urologists are busy as can be.
Yes, they
tomorrow.
are. You
What
got
in
your
the-
Thursday through
Friday.
Sunday.
I get
You're
so
off.
many red flags from McVey's internet searches at school. I don't know.
Whatever.
He's
Mo
never
Reed
getting hired
.net.
at a public school again.
Just don't go to whitehouse.com. I heard that back in the day.
That's
man.
funny.
Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Coach's Box. Hopefully, come hell or high water, the FCC doesn't kick us off the air. We'll be back again next week with a brand new episode. So until then, we will see you guys all later. Have a great night. God bless and adios.
This episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.